So the best part of my job is seeing end users using a system that we've helped design and implement, and it actually makes their lives easier, they look better, or they do their job better, and that's quite satisfying for me. My name is Richard Kolfoltz, and I'm a Geospatial Solutions Architect here at Esri, South Africa. So our technology is really, it's an information system, but it's focused on geospatial, so knowing where things are. So it allows people to analyze spatial patterns, knowing where their customers are, knowing where their assets are, enables them to get to those assets in the field. It does many things, but it really focuses on the spatial or geographical location of whatever it is that the person works in. So a typical day for me, I arrive at the office, I have a couple of really big customers we have big license agreements with. So there's a lot of project work that we do with them. We basically look at their current architectures, we work on visions with them, roadmaps on how to get there. We've been doing some really interesting work lately with a company called Dark Fiber Africa, who basically lay fiber conduit for access to the internet at your house. So you've probably seen them nearby digging up the sidewalks and the pavements near your house, and they lay down conduits, and other companies come and put actual fiber cables in. So what we've been doing with them is helping them plan the location for new rollouts. We've also been helping them capture the location of where it's being put in, let's say. And also when you're as a customer, you want to go and see if your house has access to fiber. That mapping technology is also something that we're helping them provide. A big challenge of what I do is that I sit typically between business people and technology people. They speak different languages. So really a lot of my job, if you think of it that way, is translating what somebody calls a web service to something that is effectively a solution to someone's problem. So the type of personality is somebody who can be different people on different days, speak different languages, translate, be very patient, because those two people don't typically get along very well, so you have to deal with other people's frustrations. So yeah, that's the personality type. It's quite a varied role, so your background and education can also be varied. For me personally, I did geography at school. It's a good foundation for us in our industry, and I actually studied geoinformatics at university. So it gives a good grounding in all our sort of typical areas like remote sensing, GIS analysis, a little bit of IT and programming, databases go a long way. So I would definitely say these days being more IT literate, very technical, is a big asset in our industry and in my job as well. Some of the challenges, I mean, people have been asking me since I studied GIS what it is. So awareness, I think, is probably a big aspect of it. Everyone uses it every day. Probably to get here, you use the GPS on your phone to get here. That's our type of technology. So it's definitely one of our biggest challenges, even in our existing clients, is to get them to understand what GIS can actually do for them. South Africa is doing pretty well from a GIS perspective. We follow the international market by about 5 years. So where we're needing geospatial architects, there are many of those roles already in places like the US, in Northern Europe especially, and also in Australia. So here it's a growing industry or role, and I would say in the first world countries it's probably much more mature. So if I was giving advice to a high school kid, I would definitely say keep going down the technology trend. They're all a lot more advanced these days than we even are now at my age. So they have the background skills already. Why not exploit those and make a career out of it?